This is the Infinite Ambition Podcast. Recognize your limitless worth, damn it. Infinite Ambition. All right, here we go. Welcome, y'all, to another episode of the Infinite Ambition Podcast. I am Corey Martino, your host, and today I am speaking with Mr. DeeJay Ferguson. Some of y'all may know him as chefwyze. This man's a very talented individual. He is a chef, DJ, poet, and maybe many other exciting talents that I may not know about, you may not know about, that he may share with you today, or he may not share with you today. We're going to find out. So I want y'all to welcome Mr. chefwyze, a.k.a. DeeJay Ferguson.
What's up, brother?
Yes, sir. It's going to be a fun episode today, man. I've known this man a while. We go back a little bit, We met.
Like some years, brother.
Man, for sure. Man, we met back working on a cruise line in the early 2000s, but he has a rich history that goes beyond that, even before that. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into some stories about how we met and some stories along the lines some years after, because he's got into a lot of stuff and he has a lot of interesting information to share. Because that's what this podcast is about. For those who may not have heard any of my previous episodes, I am in season 2 right now. This is the 4th episode of season 2. This is episode 23, 24, something like that. But we are all about talking with friends of mine and people I just met also that have a lot of skills, a lot of interesting backstories, entrepreneurs, very talented individuals, and people that like to share their stories and get that information out there and possibly help others and motivate and inspire others, because that's what I am about with this, and that's what people that I am associated with is about, man. How you been lately, though, man?
I've been good, brother. Just with Justin, I just made the move from Arizona to Texas, so just adjusting, man, and trying to get the business going out here like we had it going in Arizona. Still popping in Arizona,
right?
Back and forth, doing stuff out there. So it's moving, man. Just trying to, raise these kids and be a good chef, father, and husband.
Nice.
Let's get married next year. So.
Oh, congrats to that, man! Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Birthday in a couple of days too. So, man.
Word?
Yeah, bro. Be 39. I don't look it, but I'd be 39, bro.
Right.
So,
that's how you know you're doing it right. When you look younger than the age you are, and you're feeling younger than the age you are, you setting that precedence for those who are coming after you. And man, yeah, everything's going up and up, man. I like to see you doing big things, man, for real.
Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, let's get into a little bit of your backstory, man, your history, man. Like, where are you originally from, and what was that upbringing like?
Let's see, man. I'm originally from 716, Buffalo, New York, upstate. Upstate where it's great, you feel me?
Right.
But yeah, man, I'm the middle child.
Okay.
Of 5 kids between my mom and dad.
Yeah.
Same mom, same dad for all 5 of them.
Okay.
Because people gonna ask.
Right.
But yeah, man, I'm the middle child. I mean, the upbringing was the upbringing. Life was a little bit. I won't say like we was like in poverty or nothing like that, but you know what I'm saying. I grew up in the hood. Grew up around street folks.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I was never actually in that.
That's good.
My parents and grandparents instilled it in me when I was young. Like you don't have to be a product of the environment.
Exactly.
So like just because I see all these things going on around me, don't necessarily mean that I need to be a part of those things. So I was able to stay out of that for the most part. I can definitely relate to that. I won't say completely, totally, because there was some growing and learning that needed to happen.
Yeah, the growing.
I mean, my parents did the best they could. I will absolutely say that. I don't really grow. I didn't grow up in like the worst circumstances. We didn't have the most money, but we made the most with what we have. And I even take that same kind of mentality into where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like a lot of the things, and we'll touch on that more later, I'm sure, but a lot of the things that people see me do, are a product of, what was on sale at the time, and then these are the things my grandma taught me. Like,
same
you
here.
buy what's on sale and you stretch that out for the family. You
Absolutely,
know what I'm
man.
And I take that into what I do now for sure, because it's like I want my kids to understand. We don't got a lot, but we more fortunate than a lot of people.
Exactly.
And that's how I grew up thinking. Like, I don't have everything I want, but I definitely have the things that I need.
Yep.
And I definitely am in a better position than a lot of people that grew up in the same area that I grew up in. Some of the neighborhoods I grew up in. I've seen a lot of things.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of bad things. Seen a lot of good things. But
so when you have what you need, you have the foundation for the values that make you appreciate the more bigger, better things later on.
Exactly. And that's why I celebrate every victory I can, bro. Because, like, it wasn't always victory growing up.
Right.
There was a lot of failures. There was a lot of touch and go. There was a lot of just, you know how it is growing up in the hood. Like, if you get past, you get by everything. Everybody don't want to find a way to either pull you down or something like that, bro. Because
exactly. Because they don't feel like you've earned it. If you don't feel like you've earned it, if you didn't go through the mud, go through the grind, to learn it through the hard knocks, and it doesn't always have to be from the hard knocks, but when you learn it that way, you see more of the ins and outs of it, and you learn more from the ground level.
Yeah, and you definitely appreciate a lot more.
Absolutely, man. I feel on that 100%. Like, I can relate to damn near everything you just said right now. Like, from not just grinding, not just growing up, but even in adult life. I feel like I've learned a lot of things the hard way, mostly based off of my own decisions, not really accepting some of the game that was given to me from elder people who may have learned before me, and trying to figure out my own too much, but I didn't always have to do it that way. I let my pride and ego get in the way a lot of times where I shouldn't have. I should have said, okay, just sat my ass down somewhere, like, okay, take it all in, and not try to.
Same, bro. Yeah. Same. Super same, man.
Yeah, man. You like, what are some of the things that you kind of saw yourself being as an adult when you was a kid, like child ambitions? When you was little, what was you saying, like, oh, this is what I want to be when I grow up, this is what I want to be when I grow up, compared to what you actually became when you grow up? Are they still the same, or is it different?
So, yeah, actually it is a little different. So, like, I probably say around maybe like 6th, 7th grade, bro, I was very intent on being a teacher.
Okay.
I actually did that for a little bit. I taught various, like, school age grades. So I did a little bit of 1st grade, 2nd grade. I did a little bit of 3rd. I did a little bit working with, like, the little kids in kindergarten class.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
And it's actually where the school that I worked at is actually where I actually ended up getting my, I guess, culinary start in, like, 2002. So it went from me teaching and stuff like that to me actually, I started working in the kitchen, preparing the meals, preparing the menus based on, various nutritional standards for the kids and stuff like that. So that's really where it kicked off for me. But I mean, I've been cooking since I was 9.
For sure.
But, like, that's professionally, that's really where the quote unquote start was.
See, I didn't know that.
I never got into the fast food restaurants or nothing like that. I've always been interested in cooking, mainly because I like to eat.
Yeah.
I'm a fat kid at heart.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I like to eat, and with my mom having multiple jobs and going to school, and my dad having multiple jobs and stuff like that, and going through the things he was going through, I kind of had to teach myself.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to take what I've seen people do and start emulating it and doing it myself.
I figure that's where a lot of the most creative minds excel in their field when they're able to add their own, no pun intended, but flavor to what it is they've learned along the way from other people. And
Exactly.
I didn't know that you used to be a teacher. Do you feel like that's had a major part in your parenting today? Like, do you think that helped out in a lot of ways with your parenting today when you first became a parent or you first became a stepfather? Do you think, how do you think that played into it?
I think honestly, because everybody's different, man.
Yeah.
So like going through, child psychology classes and stuff like that, you just kind of find different ways to reach different children. So like, I got 4 kids. All my kids are different.
For sure.
From my oldest to my oldest, who is about to be 16 in September, to my youngest, who is 5 right now.
Wow.
So like, and every single one of them is different. So like, I learned that I can't treat them all the same because they are all different. You know what I'm saying? And that actually translates to my management style as well. When I was running restaurants and stuff like that, like that same mentality. Like, everybody can't be treated the same. Everybody should be held to the same standards, but everybody can't be treated the same.
I'll make some noise for that one.
Like, you just like, I can't manage everybody the same way. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I definitely got some management stories for sure.
Yeah, me too. Not with kids yet, but management stories with people in general.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Well, my management stories with children will come pretty soon. I got one on the way. My wife and I are expecting in October, so we're preparing for that right now. And man, I'm just beyond excited for the journey that I'm about to embark on, because that's going to be like a lifelong journey. And we've been talking about we won 3, but right now is our first together we're about to have this year. And man, I felt so much excitement for many things I've done in my life, but never had an excitement on this level before. Where it's point where it's like, this is all I think about every day. It's like the forefront of my mind, and every time I'm having a conversation with somebody about anything, somehow I'm able to bring in about to be a father or a kid. Somehow I'm able to bring that into the conversation, and that let me know that, wow, this is what's about to be about. And I think that's what I'm here for now, man. It's just to be the best father in the world I can possibly be. That's gonna be. And even talking about it right now, like, I'm trying to keep myself from getting too excited. So I know how I get when I get really excited about something. I start talking really fast. This podcast is gonna sound fucked up if I can't articulate right. So, oh man, so like, did you you said you was cooking since you were 9. I think I've been about the same thing since I've been tall enough to reach the stove. I've been trying to get in there and cook help out with my mom, my aunts, and grandma and stuff. Even through, like, after your child psychology training, and you say you was a teacher for a while, what led you to finding Norwegian Cruise Line? Because I got it. My story of how I found it and why I started is very detailed. It could have been a movie. I could go into it now, but I'll be sitting here for another 6 hours explaining that. I want you to talk about your story, how you got into it.
Bro, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. It was an accident. It was an accident, fam. Like,
you filled the wrong application or something? They like called you up?
So there was a lady at our church. I want to say her name was Sandra.
Okay.
So Miss Sandra told a few of us about it, and I didn't really think nothing of it. They had like a child care thing on the ship.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll apply for it. Maybe I'll get on there and work in the daycare or something on the ship. Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then when I got into the actual selection process, it was like, they saw my background. It was like, oh, you cook? And I was like, yeah. And it was like, well, they gave me, some spiel, because, the cooks was always leaving on the ship.
Yeah.
So yeah, they gave me they
always use some cooks.
Was like, yeah, so they gave me their little spiel, and they was like,
it's kind of how I became a cook in the Marines. The same thing.
So would you mind maybe starting in the kitchen? And I should have known better, but they was like, you mind starting in the kitchen, and maybe we can move you later? I was like, sure, no problem. I could do that. I could learn some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Man, I never got out that kitchen.
Oh man,
I've been in the kitchen ever since.
Yeah. I remember when I first met you or knew of you. I think he was a kitchen steward, or he was one part of the crew that at night or something. I don't know if he was like in the.
I started
part.
as galley steward.
There, okay, yeah.
Then I was kitchen steward. Then I think by the time me and you met, I was getting ready to make the transition from kitchen steward to assistant cook.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Cause I remember you mentioning a lot back then about how you could cook really well. Like he's talking about what you knew, and I'm like, well, why is he clean? He should be in the kitchen with us. And then I found out.
And it took a while for me to get there because when they told me, they was like, yeah, we'll make you a cook and everything. But then I got there and it was like, oh, you're going to be washing dishes and cleaning the kitchens and stuff overnight. And I was like, wait, this ain't what y'all told me.
Right, yeah. That's been like
but
that for a few people.
I did it. I feel like I'm the kind of person that feels like, you got to pay your dues.
Yeah.
You got to work your way up to where you're supposed to be. And, I was like, okay, this what we're going to do then. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to keep working and work our way up until they start to recognize what the talent that they have right in front of them.
For sure. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on those ships. And, like, from my experience, like, when I joined in 2003, I was part of the first batch of the American crew members before they launched NCL America. It was just the NCL. It was all the foreign ships, and they was looking for American staff members so they can launch their American fleet. And there wasn't that many of us at the time. It was all training on the international ships. And then when they took 3 of their foreign flag ships and reflagged them American and took them over to Hawaii, I was part of that crew. And it was a shitload of trial and error, a ton of mistakes. It was some of the hardest work, but also some of the most fun I've had at the same time. So it was a little bit of yin and yang, a little bit of So with that, I felt like from the experience that I had before being on the ship was mostly just military and a few chain restaurants. That's all I really had as far as professionally. Most of what I learned was through the international chefs and some of the American chefs I worked under on the ships, whether it be in the buffet restaurants, the production kitchens, stuff. I moved around through all those a lot, and it was tough. It was hard, but at the same time, I met a lot of people, got a ton of experience. They put me up on a lot of games, shit that I still carry today. And amidst of all that, being in my early 20s, I was just wilding a lot. I barely slept. All I did was work, eat, party, work out, and just repeat. over and over and over again.
Yep. And I like ship life.
Man, it was crazy. And with that, it was like a lot of the dues were paid, man. A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of getting yelled at for mistakes, a lot of learning a lot, and just navigating a lot through the different restaurants on each of those ships, seeing what I felt like was going to be my best fit in life, what I thought I was going to like. Because at the time, I kind of knew I wanted to cook and be a chef for the rest of my life, but not really. I just knew that I loved working with food and making people happy through that medium, through that form of art.
Exactly.
And the fact that, like you said yourself, fat kid on the inside, that's me then, and it is definitely me now. And I knew that, okay, I just love cooking, love doing something with food. It was right up there with my love for music at the same time, with my love for doing music. It's kind of even, same way it is today. But I always knew that cooking and working with food, being a chef, that's what's going to pay the bills if music never takes off. It's always going to be a job there for me, working in the kitchen somewhere, anywhere I go in life. It's always going to be there. I'm always going to be able to take care of myself and feed my family if I have a family in the future. I'm never going to go hungry because that's there. Whereas like with music, that's not really a guarantee. That's a very tiny window of success right there. So keep that on the side and tuck, but stick with this because that's kind of the advice that I've gotten in life through my elders. Like, oh, you got natural talent and love for it. Stay with it. Yeah, you do music, man. That's cool, but stay with that food stuff. So
yeah, I've been there too. Bro. Because I play piano, play drums.
Yep.
Used to do some writing for music in his house. Still got a keyboard in the closet now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like, but it's like for me, the decision to go the culinary route versus the musical route was more of a I don't want to say
was more lucrative, more substantial.
Of a situation where I know everybody got to eat,
mm-hmm.
and I know I can make food that everybody likes, consistently.
Yep.
But would I be able to consistently put out music that everybody will enjoy?
And that's a gamble right there. It really is.
And knowing that,
while keeping your artistic integrity intact too, is tough.
Yeah, like I don't always listen to music every single day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I know I'm gonna eat every single day.
Fact, big fact. As long as there's somebody around you, I want to eat too.
So how can I take this and turn it into something that I can really make financially viable for myself?
Yeah.
Because and it ended up being cooking more so than anything I was going to do with music.
And that's something you can do.
And I still love music to this day. I still love it.
Yep, that's something you can do no matter how old you are.
I just know it's not my career path.
There you go. Yeah, like because like when I was working, one of the fun things I like to talk about all the time was one of my side gigs on the ship. I had a few of them, whether it be the art gallery or cutting hair or working in the officer's mess. Was DJing in the crew bar. You know, I got just me being who I was, and partly who I am now, but mostly who I was then. Just super crazy party animal that I was. I was always in the clubs all the time and always looking for the next party. But I didn't know that I had a fun love for DJing until I used to hang around my boy RC, which you know him too. And he was one of the resident DJs, also very accomplished chef also, but he did that, and I used to hang around with him. Like, man, one time I was a kid, I dabbled in it but didn't really know about it, but then just hanging around him doing it in the crew bar, I'm like, that shit is super fun. Not only is it not as hard as I thought it was at that time for the equipment that we had, but it's just fun controlling a party and just making sure people are having a good time. And
so much fun, bro.
That's like, it's like therapeutic, it's fun, and you meet a lot of people that way. And you was doing it too, but I didn't really know that. I know if you had background in it at the time or not. I just remember one day you got up there and you had your music and you had a night and you was just rocking the crowd like something crazy, and the vibe that you was putting out and the way people was feeling you was the same level I was on. I'm like, yo, this dude is nice with it too, man. And that's one of the ways that we connected. Did you have a background in that also before was on the ship?
None. Absolutely none.
It just came natural to you, because you made it look so easy.
Bro, I just love music, and I hear music different than other people.
True.
So, like, some of the mixes that I was putting together in there, to this day, still, I'm like, how did I even like think to put these two songs together? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like even like y'all's night and our night was the hypest nights in that crew bar.
For sure.
Because we knew how to keep the crowd moving. We knew how to keep people dancing. Like, people actually, it was like a club in there, bro.
It was.
Like, it really was. It was like a little club for the crew. And, like, I had no experience in that, but I saw y'all do it, and then I think I watched James do it for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I feel like I could do this. Like, I've always had an interest in it, but I never really took that interest and ran with it.
Same.
So like I've always had an interest in it. So it just got to a point where when nobody was in the crew bar, I would go in there, plug my headphones in, and start playing around with different sounds, different music, different mixes.
Yeah, getting you practicing.
Throwing in little South Park clips and stuff from
I remember
songs and stuff, Cartman and mixes and stuff like that, bro. Like it like you said, bro, it really honestly just came naturally, because I had no background in that before I started doing it on the shit.
Yes, same here. I remember I was 9 years old at a family reunion, and my uncle Rod, he was a DJ on the side from his regular job. He was DJing at one of the family reunions. So I went up to the booth one time. Back then I was like a super shy kid. Then very, very, very shy, socially blanked out, right? But I knew if I heard certain music, I'd be dancing my ass off by myself because I didn't care. So anyway, one night, in one of those moments at that reunion, I went to the DJ booth. I was asking him, like, how are you doing that? How did you mix those two records together? And he showed me. He had vinyl, and he showed me, and I did 2 songs. I remember I can't remember what the songs was, but he let me do it the rest of the night. Like, I was blown away. Like, I'm a 9-year-old kid, never touched music in my life, but I've always been around it because my mom, she played multiple instruments. I played trumpet in high school, in elementary school, whatever. But after that night, though, I'm like, this is so much fun. I want to do this forever. And I never did it again until I ended up on the the cruise line. I watched RC do it when we was over in Germany and stuff, and me and him was going around different clubs. He would guest DJ a few nights, or he would DJ in the crew bar, and I'd learn a little bit from him, watching him navigate the equipment. I'm like, why a natural feel for like what people love, how people dance and stuff. I can measure beats per minute, I can count beats per minute, I can match stuff. I know I got a CD collection from Hill, hundreds of CDs, tapes and stuff. I can mix whatever. So I started dabbling in it to the point where he left the ship. I took over his night, which became my night. Then you was doing your thing. You had a night, but that's where kind of like same thing for me too. Didn't have a history before it until then, and after I left the ship, I never did it again because I was focused on just trying to make it in life, get a job, and navigate through things that was going on in my life. And with technology taking off with it, like Serato and all that other stuff, I couldn't keep up because I didn't have the money to buy equipment and all that other stuff. So I never DJed since then, but I've always had a strong love for it in my heart for doing it. Like if I were able to keep up with it after the ship and still be doing it, there's no telling where I could have taken it. But my main love in music wasn't that. It was producing and writing and being an artist on the music side anyway. So I kept going with that in the years later. But this isn't about my musical history because I can go on forever. I wanted to get into you when you was doing it. You had a unique way about your nights because not only was you like just DJing, you was also an entertainer too, in a way. I felt like I was good emceeing on the mic, DJing, whatever, keeping the crowd hype. But you was out there dancing like a dance machine. I thought I could dance, but you got on the floor and just took over every time. Whether it was like in a club on shore, like in Kauai or Maui or something, or just there in the crew bar, you would like just command the room. People, that's what made you like magnetize you to a lot of people. There was some of the crew staff that I used to work with, like the passengers in the main club upstairs with the guests that would come out to the crew bar every now and then and say this shit was popping more than the guest room, the guest bar.
That's crazy.
And that was mainly because it's the entertainment value. You know, like we did those shows. We did the Pajama Jammy Jam. We hosted rap battles. We did dance battles.
The rap battles.
Man, I still talk to people every now and then and mentions those.
All I was missing, bro, was a dread wig, and I was future in there, bro.
In the future, yep. Man, we made it work though, man. We had that little microphone that was like a drum microphone. It wasn't even made for vocals, and we made it work, man.
We definitely did, bro.
Man, what do you think was some of your favorite? Do you have memories of some of your favorite nights, or if you have one specific one from those days when we was doing that? Because we had the Grown and Sexy night with the R&B and hip hop. We had the hip hop night. I don't know what we called it, and then we had a couple other nights. Other guys did their things, but our nights was just the premiere of people waited around for.
Always, bro. I think one of my favorite memories, bro, is it's funny to me now. In the moment, I didn't know how to take it. I don't know if you remember Dre.
Dre. I think so. Name sounds familiar.
Big muscle dude from
yeah, with the lisp.
Every time you see that,
we used to call him Debo. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we used to call him Debo. I remember him.
Yeah, so like I don't know, bro. He was like feeling himself one night, and we was in there. I think y'all was playing like some hyphy music. So you know me, I'm dancing. I'm on the ground getting hyphy. Next thing I know, this man come out of nowhere and just start pouring beer on top of me.
I don't think I remember that night. I don't know if I was in there at that moment.
I don't know. You might not have been in there, but like, bro, it was just so random.
He was a wild dude.
And I remember one of the security guard dudes was in there. He was like trying to take him out and stuff. And I'm like, nah, it's not that big a deal. It's just beer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like that whole incident was so funny because everybody just kind of stopped. And they was like waiting to just see how I was going to react. And like when I stood up, he was just standing there looking at me. And then he like out of nowhere hugged me. I was like,
yeah.
What's happening, bro?
I remember now, man. He was a pretty random dude. Like he was cool. When he knew you, he was cool as hell with you. He was cool dude to be around. It was fun to be around. But he always been known to do some very off the wall stuff every now and then. You would never expect
like that, bro. But like, cause he was swole,
giant, yeah,
like giant, bro. And like, bro, you wouldn't think he was that goofy, but he definitely was, bro. I don't think anybody really knew this part, but. That night before I had come to the crew bar, I actually was just going to let James play.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I ain't coming in there tonight, yada, yada, yada. I was like, James, go ahead and take it. I think I have maybe a migraine or something like that. I just didn't really feel like fooling with it. So, next thing I know, bro, this man called my phone. He called the room phone.
Yeah, the room phone.
And had, you know that Jamie Foxx song, Can I Take You Home?
Oh, yeah.
He had that playing in the background, singing his own vocals over it, telling me how they needed me in the crew bar.
Man, that sounds like something I would have done.
That I will never forget that, bro. And then I think the only other situation that I will never forget, and I still don't know why or how this happened. I think, bro, I think that night James was going through some like emotional stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had some things going on at home. You know what I'm saying? Yada yada. So we was DJing one night, and I just got, because you remember we used to like switch on and off.
Yeah.
So I throw some little mix going on for maybe 15 minutes or so, and then James get on and do his thing. Bro, I remember like this night in particular, I don't know what it was, but I was on, bro. Super duper on. Like it wasn't a person in that place not rocking their head or dancing.
Those were the joints, yeah.
It's right. So then this man get on. He let my song finish up. This man get on.
I think I know where you're going, bro.
On the thing, it played Mary J. Blige, "Not Gonna Cry."
I remember now. I remember
just looking up, being like, "What the hell just happened?"
You would have thought somebody just died in the room. Everybody just like,
bro. And then everybody sat down. Everybody was like, and then everybody started looking at me. They're like, "Yo, what's up with your boy?" I like, bro, I don't know. He might be going through something. Give him a minute. Maybe he's just building up to it.
Right.
I think after Not Gonna Cry, he played something, and it was mid tempo. It wasn't like upper tempo like we had to. The flow had already established.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. But and then like shortly after, he came up to me and was like, "Bro, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just not with it." And I was like, "Bro, all right, cool. I'll take over. Go ahead to the room," because we shared the room. So I was like, "Go ahead to the room, bro. Lay down, do whatever it is you need to do. We'll talk about it when I get back up there." And so that's what we did. We talked about it when I got in there, and he was just missing home, like right. A lot of us, missing home, missing his family and stuff like that, bro. And I get it. I definitely do. So I've never faulted him for that. It's just always a funny memory that I'm always gonna remember, for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. I got so many of them. I wish I would have wrote down one, because it'd be hard for me to decide which one I wanted to talk about and which one I can talk about, because some stuff happened here I would never share. But this was fun. This is fun, man. I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy. May he rest in heaven, man. Big Al Buckner, man. I miss that dude.
Big Al.
Man, I miss that dude, man. Well, after I forgot what year it was after I left the ship, that one of his relatives contacted me through Facebook and told me that he had passed away, and how, and we had a conversation, and it hit me kind of hard. So
April hit me up and told me.
I ended up doing this song as a tribute song to him. It's called "Ride Out Forever," and I posted it. His family loved it. I think one of his aunts or somebody had played it for the family at a wake or a passing, and they said everybody felt it, they loved it. But we was I remember one night in the crew bar, I was DJing one night, and I think RC was on his way out. He was about to leave the company, but he was just there hanging out with me, and the vibe was so fun that night. And I was behind the booth, me and I was just chopping up laughing, and we was all used to be sipping something while I was DJing, whatever, keep the vibe going. And because the drinks were so damn cheap, everybody was just getting cups of wine all night and everything.
Exactly.
He back there with me, we was wilding, and all of a sudden he grabbed the microphone and he just started going, bitch, 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 over and over on the mic. And I'm crying, laughing so loud, so hard that I couldn't even play for the next 10 minutes. I'm laughing so hard. And before I know it, me and him just trading the mic back and forth, just talking shit. And everybody's laughing at us. I thought we was ruining the night, but people was like thinking it was a comedy routine, so we were just goofing off so much that night. But
yeah.
And before I know it, I'm like dancing all over the crew bar, passing the mic around to people. And he's like back there, he keeps like, I don't know what he's doing with my records. He's putting on CDs I was skipping. I'm like, yo, screaming across the bar. And for some reason, there was like mayhem. Things were going wrong, but for some reason that night, everybody was still having so much fun with all the sloppiness of that night that was probably one of my greatest memories of having fun with him that night. And there's plenty more, but that one sticks out to me right now. Because
I remember when it come to Al, bro, because he actually was my roommate for a minute too.
Okay.
But I remember one night, bro, I was in the crew bar. I ain't gonna say what I was doing, but I was in the crew bar dancing. I'll leave it at that.
Right.
But then this man came up behind me and just started like humping me from behind, bro. And it caught me so off. I turned around, I'm like, yo, what is wrong with you?
Probably in his work uniform too, no doubt.
And he was just drunk as hell and cracking up. He thought it was the funniest thing. I'm just like, I was so caught up. Like, I wanted to be mad, but when I turned around and saw it was Al, and that's some Al, that's the Al thing to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't even be mad after that. I was like, bro, what's wrong with you, man?
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, I got
there's so many memories from the cruise line, man. Like,
so many.
Honestly, only reason I stopped doing the cruise line is because my oldest daughter.
I got.
If it wasn't for the fact that she was that my lady at the time had gotten pregnant with her, bro. I don't say I'd still be doing it now, but I definitely would have did it probably for another couple of years, because the experience and the people you meet, man, like, I've really made like lifelong friendships and connections from
sure. Here too.
Just meeting those people on the ship, bro, and I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah, man, it is dope, man. I got something similar in the same vein as that, as well as why I left the ship. Like, even to this day, there's still a handful of people I'm still in contact with through Facebook and through Messenger and stuff, like you and many others from that time. And social media helped out with that, because of course we all grow through life. We get new phone numbers, new addresses, and things change, and life experiences.
Definitely. Social media is definitely a help with that, man.
Yeah, when I left the show, I think MySpace was still in full swing and Facebook was just starting. I think Facebook was coming out around 2003. Not a lot of people knew about it. Not a lot of people had it, so it kind of grew. And the first iPhone was just coming out. I remember getting ads for it before I left the ship on my MySpace. Like, what is kind of phone? This doesn't look like a real phone. What is this? I thought it was fake until I got off the ship. Like, oh
yeah, me too.
So when I left in 2007, March or April at sometime. During that time, I was starting to get a little burnt out from things that are going on in the company as far as like promotions. And there's some brown nosing I saw that I didn't like from people that I thought I trusted. But I was like kind of burning myself out, because I was trying to do too much. I was like burning the candle on both ends. Like I said, I had multiple side gigs. Not only was I cooking 12 or 13 hours a day, but doing the crew bar, I was cutting hair, doing the art auction, and I was trying to help my boy Leo with some media stuff that I was learning. And I was just so, at the time, overly ambitious. Kind of sounds weird because my brand is Infinite Ambition now, but I was trying to do too much at that time because I was so young and energetic that I was getting myself frustrated. And then, while all this was going on, a woman that I had previously been engaged to at the time, she was pregnant, and she left the ship about a year before I did. And I was trying to figure out my situation with her. Like, okay, I want to be a father to my soon-to-be unborn child, but I got to figure out how I'm going to do this from the ship. Okay, maybe I'll leave and I'll go move with her in California. That's where she was at the time.
That's crazy, because that's the same time I was trying to figure that out too, 2007. Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to get a job short side, then we're going to figure it out from here. But then we broke up. We didn't really speak for a while. And then when I left the ship, shortly after, I found out that she ended up losing the baby just before birth or during birth from somebody else. And then that hurt me, so I couldn't figure out. I was like lost for a minute, didn't know where I was going to stay in Hawaii or not. Didn't want to go back to the ship because I was tired. So, okay, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. Get a regular job. Then that struggle happened with finding something that actually was paying right. Then me and her lost contact for a number of years. Then we reconnected over Facebook. Then became friends later. She has a husband and kids, and now she's living great. But at that time, though, 2007, that was a very troublesome, emotional, very tough time. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know, like, I started kind of seeing somebody, but not really. That wasn't really a real relationship. I was kind of lost, didn't know if I wanted to be single with somebody. I didn't know nothing. I was like just floating around. I got bad into smoking a lot of weed, drinking a lot, and I was like, I got to do something. So But that at that time though, yeah, that's where my decisions for leaving the company came from. I feel like I could have did another contract or two. If I would have just dialed back my activities on the ship, I could have done another one. But I feel like at that time I did about 4 years, which was longer than a lot of people was doing at that time. So I felt semi-accomplished. I learned a lot, which I took with me later on in life through experiences. But I have nothing but great things to say about my time with the company. I loved it. I made a lot of money, blew a lot because I was young and immature then. But
for no reason.
got a chance to see other countries and other places and met people from all over the world, which I'll value forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. So you wanted to move on to fast forward to Chef Wyze. Now I think I remember understanding how you got the name Wyze. I know you was posting a lot of poetry you was doing. Is that where that came from? Where the Wyze part came from, or is that from something else?
So, let's see. That was my poetry name.
Okay.
It was wise words.
There you go, Wise Words. Okay,
Actually,
yeah.
and life honestly just kind of got me away from poetry. It really wasn't like circumstance or nothing like that. It's just literally life kind of got me away from what I was doing poetry wise. And I just kind of moved forward from that, and I kept the Wyze name.
Yeah.
Because people would tell me like my mind for this was different.
All right.
So like they would tell it's like, bro, I don't know where you come up with this stuff. Like, you're so smart, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, maybe I should just keep the wise part. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I still go by Wise Words on Twitter, but I just wanted to keep the wise part of the situation because I feel like, I am smart. I think different in the game. So Chef Wyze just stuck, even though people still, do it, but pronounce it wrong a lot.
Really?
I've been called Chef Wyze, Chef Wyze. I've been called so many different things. Like it's ridiculous, actually. Wow. The things I get called, but
that name is I like that name because you can use it for almost anything, really, as far as like if you're in a creative space or any entrepreneurial activities or anything that you're doing, providing a service and showing some art. That's great because like you can be like a wise chef, a wise cook, a wise businessman, a wise anything, and the way it's spelled is dope too. And you parlayed that into your private chef or chef catering. How would you describe your business in detail? Like what made you want to decide to do that? Did it start in Texas? Did it start in Arizona? Or did it move back and forth? Or was that something that's been in your mind for a while and you waited to the perfect moment to do it? Because you know you got a team you build, got your boys with you, and I love following your videos on social media. I'll show my wife some of those videos this morning.
Honestly, it actually started in Arizona. I've been cooking and doing like parties and stuff for forever. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like I've been able to cook for people and do events and stuff like that and help people out with stuff for a long time. Now it got real when I moved to Arizona. I was working in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is more of a richer area of Arizona.
Okay.
Straight out of culinary school, I was kind of thrust into an executive chef position. Wow. Literally, when I say straight out of culinary school, bro, like I finished my externship, and next thing I knew, I was the chef of a restaurant.
That must have been a shock and a half,
bro. It really was, because like what ended up happening, the first chef that I encountered at I ain't gonna throw the name out there of the place because I don't want people to catch no slack.
Right.
But,
yeah.
So the first restaurant that I was working at in Arizona after school and everything, because I did stuff. I worked at Dave & Buster's. I worked at Genghis Grill. I did some smaller restaurant type stuff, but this was the big job. And I only ended up with this big job because I shot my shot.
Wow.
So the chef that was there, turns out that he was actually an actor and really didn't have no culinary background.
Oh.
I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
Like a professional actor, or just like somebody else, a pretender?
The next chef they brought in was like, I hate to say the Napoleon complex, but it was a Napoleon complex. He was a shorter dude. He was like hitting on the girls, tell the girls behind the line that he was going to make them work in bikinis behind the line.
Oh, one of them. I've seen one of them before, yeah.
Yeah, one of them, bro. One of the misogynist type. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I wasn't feeling that. The people wasn't feeling that. So they ended up bringing in the corporate chef of that place to kind of run the business for a little while. And me and him start getting close and stuff and everything. And he was like, he asked me straight up, he was like, let me ask you a question, man. He's like, why aren't you doing this?
Yeah. And
I was like, good question.
That's always dope when you can have somebody else like bring you in that way. Whether aside from you saying like you trying to sell yourself and promote yourself in, somebody else higher up saying like grab you like, no, you need to be here. Come doing this. Like, okay, that means I've done something right. I have to like, yeah, that's what's up.
So then I really took that and I learned what I needed to learn from him. And he was like, if I showed you everything you needed to do you think you could do this? And anytime somebody asked me a question like that, my answer is always going to be yes. Mm-hmm. Because I don't believe in turning down opportunities.
There you go.
Especially when they can make me better as a professional and as a chef. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. If you don't know, you're willing to go out of your way to learn it.
I was like, yeah, I absolutely can do this. And then literally 2 weeks later, he was like, all right, I'm going back to California to go run my restaurant. And he said, for all intents and purposes, you are going to be the executive chef here.
Okay.
And I ran that place for 6-7 years before I left, and then actually eventually ended up coming back for a couple of years.
Gotta make some noise for that one.
So I think, bro, and what's crazy is the way that my actual like personal business started. Uh-huh. It was like I got to a point where, and this will touch on family a little bit too. I got to a point where it felt like, and my kids were actually telling me, like, it felt like I was gone all the time. You know the restaurant industry, you know the hours, bro.
Exactly.
So, like, I was, bro. I was gone a lot.
You're at the restaurant more than you're at home.
Yeah, and I was missing things that I didn't realize I was missing with my kids. And I was like, all right, cool. So once my oldest daughter, really communicated to me, like, Daddy, I don't feel like you actually have time for me. That's why I don't tell you a lot of things that are going on with me and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, all right, cool. Then I'm going to make time.
Yep, there you go.
I literally decided February 1st, 2020, that I was done. Okay. I told them, I said, I'll give y'all 30 days. Find a replacement or train a replacement, whatever it takes.
Yep, I hear you, man.
After that 30 days, bro, March 1st was my last day working in an actual restaurant.
Wow.
And what's crazy is a week later, everything shut down from COVID. And so, like, then it was like, okay, I took 30 days after that, bro. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on getting ready to build my business. Because I had networked with a lot of people, bro. Like,
there you go.
In that because the restaurant I worked at was a restaurant, day club, and nightclub.
Oh, okay, so you probably had a chance to rub elbows with a lot of people during that time.
Bro, I mean, from being like the go between for like 50 Cent and the DeeJay to feeding Fat Man Scoop. I had like several athletes. I had like Phoenix Suns members that would come in there and have specific things that they would order, and then they were the only ones that can get it. So, like, bro, I've been on the phone. I was on the phone. One of my favorite memories, bro, is I was actually on the phone with Odell Beckham's chef.
Whoa. Wow.
And because I had made him some buffalo chicken fries.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I think we called them Fuego fries at the time because it was house cut fries, seasoned. buffalo chicken tenders chopped up on top.
Man,
We had
I'm about
I
to
think
go
it was
barbecue right after
parsley,
this
green
show. Now
onion.
you're making me hungry.
Yeah, bro, house made ranch, everything, bro.
Whew.
So like I made it for him one day when he was there just kicking it, and he was like, "Hey, I need you to do me a favor." So he handed me his phone. He said, "Tell him how you made this." So I was on the phone with his chef, explaining to him how he made it. And it feels awkward, you know, because I don't want to tell another chef how to do their job.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it felt awkward, but bro was cool about it. Didn't really, you know, wasn't no static or nothing. He just appreciated me, you know, giving him insight of what we was doing.
That
so
and
that
your,
he could be better for his client, which I respect.
Yeah. We have good people. We have well people skills too, which makes it easier for you to do that.
I've been a personal chef for some athletes and stuff. I do enjoy it. It's just it's almost as nerve wracking as being in the industry.
Yeah, you got those standards that
you got to be available all the time.
Yep.
And so I don't mind doing those kind of things, but I'm at a place now in my life and in my age where if it does not work and it's not conducive to help me advance my family, then I'll more than likely turn down something that comes my way. Like I will tell you right now, it's been at least 3 times that I've been approached by people for DeeJay Ayton that wanted me to cook for him.
And that's just smart on decision making. You know, like when you're younger, a lot of times you tend to think about, okay, what's great for me at this moment and money right now. Whereas we get older and now we start to think more about, okay, what's better for my family and myself now and down the line, and what's going to make more sense, what's going to sustain.
I still enjoy cooking at home.
For sure.
You know, and I don't want to lose. I don't
want to lose that.
The restaurant almost made me lose my passion for that.
I feel you, man. I was there too.
The restaurant, like, really almost, and I honestly feel like I don't want to say I worked at the wrong restaurants, but I worked at the wrong restaurants. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
I worked at places where the food was not the main focus, even though it was the main reason people were there.
Some restaurants only care about the bottom line.
Exactly.
Everything
so
else filters.
I was always under budget. I was always on target with sales numbers. Anytime we had private parties, we excelled at those every time. Even when we were at a management meeting on Tuesday. It was Tuesday afternoon. They was like, "So, everything ready for the party tonight?" What party?
I had those meetings before too. Like, why am I not knowing about this?
What party we talking about? And bro, I literally had to go from the building to the warehouse where we get our food and stuff from, bring it back, cook it, and 500 people, bro.
Yep.
That our event planner neglected to tell me about.
I've done those runs too,
bro.
Man.
And we rocked it though, because I've always had
scrambling around town looking for product.
Always had great teams.
Yeah.
That's important. Support is important. I've always had great teams around me. I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of the same people in the restaurants that I worked at.
Yeah.
And that also ended up translating to my business, because now I still, when I have things come up, I hit them up. I'm like, hey, what y'all got going on? And I even help them and want to see them advance by, putting them on with the people who are hiring me. Like, nah, talk to this man because he doing this over here. One of my team members got a mobile detailing business. Another one of my team members is about to open a food truck. So, like, I love watching people grow and progress with me. And then even surpassing what I'm doing right now. I just love to see it, bro. I love pouring into people.
Absolutely, man. Building relationships is a huge part of it. It's a huge part of growth and success with any business, and especially if you're going into business with yourself, or if you're in a business that's providing a service for others. You build those relationships with not only your customers but your teammates. Your team is the biggest part of who you are, and vice versa.
Right. My team is my family, bro. Like that's family. Them is my brothers and my sisters, man.
Yeah. I was going to ask you. I was going to be my next question and topic. Like, Chef Wyze, like I've been following your pictures and your videos and your posts, whether it be TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. And I noticed the same couple guys or same few people around you on those videos. If they're the ones that's been working with you through all those events that you've been doing, or at least the ones that you've been posting.
All of them. All of them, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
When I need a big team, they always come through, bro. They always got my back. They know what the standard is. They hold the standard high. They all have their own individual talents that I love about them. Sure. Hell, my sous chef, my content manager is my fiance.
Ah, there you go. See, that's dope because like I've done a few private chef gigs myself. Some of them I booked through people that I've known I met at the restaurant that I was an executive chef at, just like you. I met through them, and word kind of got around. I met through friends of my wife's family, but the events that we've done, my wife's helped me with each one of those, whether it be assisting cook with prep, whether it be like logistics with the materials and stuff. She's been there with me the whole time.
My fiance's a phenomenal, bro.
And we've thrown around the idea a couple of times of me turning it into a legit business, legit company. Something I still might do one day. It takes a lot to do that, but we have different things going on in life right now, which might have to put it to the side a little bit or just move some priorities around. But it's still in my mind something I want to do, and if I do it, I'm doing that. She's gonna be right there. Bro. She's part of that because I'm nothing without her as far as like anything I do. So big part of the motivation.
Bro,
and
I feel that statement, bro. Because like, look, when I say she do a lot, bro, like the custom menus that we print out, she makes them. Mm-hmm. Like when it comes to like helping with prep, when it comes to helping with everything that is involved in this business, she's literally right there. Business cards, helping me create content, help me know what content to post and when to post it, because she's phenomenal at that shit, bro. Like, I'm not that great at social media, but she has it almost down to a science, to where she's at a point now where she's even helping other people, put their resumes and business cards and business flyers and stuff together. Like, she's just really, really, really good at these kind of things. She has a real art eye that is phenomenal. And then, like, on top of that, she meets a lot of people because she models, and she works in the kitchen as well. Mm-hmm. She works right now. She's actually working for I don't know if you know him by name, but Graham Elliott, Chef Graham Elliott.
I'm afraid not. I have to look that up.
He's actually a judge on MasterChef.
Okay, I haven't seen MasterChef in a while, but I have to look him up. I'm pretty sure I may have seen him before. I just don't recognize the name.
She just got a new gig working for him at his newly opening restaurant, where he's going to be like, chef and owner.
Dope.
So like she's got to work real close with a lot of like Food Network chefs. And Scott Conan too as well. So
see, y'all
like,
unit, man, y'all team, man. That's
she's
beautiful.
Dope, bro. Like she'll try to downplay it, but she's dope as hell. And just like you said about your lady, man, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, mentally, physically, losing the weight and stuff that I have. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be there without her.
The same, man. It's like that source of motivation that we all need, and it goes both ways. Like ever since, even just before I met her, but when I did, I was already starting on to rise up and like elevate and be more mature and think about stuff. But like once I met her, though, it just enhanced times 10. And I was thinking about the future more and more. And then we started talking about family and all that. Then everything just clicked. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's definitely getting into gear. Everything just started lining up for me as far as physical health and well-being, career-wise, making decisions with about family and health. And that was one of the reasons, like that thought process when I left the restaurant and started working at the hospital now, because I was tired of just being the workhorse. I had to work way more than I was at home, and with no benefits, and just being stressed out all the time, making decent money. But
man,
I wasn't enjoying it because I was always hurting. Everything was just going not the way I wanted to, and I saw a light at the end of the tunnel, doing something different, but still cooking. Because I love, like you said, I love cooking at home. I definitely still love being a chef, but I couldn't do it. I was at at work and just dealing with the hardships of it, and I start to hate the restaurant life. I'm like, man, I can't. So then I went to the hospital.
That's it right there, bro.
I ended up working at the hospital. Now I'm like loving it more. I'm back to loving it more again. Now I'm at home cooking a lot. I'm showing off at home cooking. My wife's loving it. It's like, and now it's time I can be home for once we start having kids. I can be a father now and a husband. Where before I was just like barely a husband. And I was a chef in the restaurant downtown. Like, nah, I can't do that. That ain't the way to live. So I definitely feel you just saying that.
One of the biggest challenges, honestly, for me was because Scottsdale, where it really got my professional start. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it's a predominantly white area.
Yeah.
So being the only at the time black executive chef in that area,
same in Durango,
I had to prove myself a lot harder than what some of these other chefs did.
Same way here in Durango.
And like I don't know how it really happened, but bro, like I made myself a staple in Scottsdale. You know what I'm saying?
You have to
like,
stick out
I still
and
get people that hit me up and be like,
way.
hey, you still in Scottsdale? Or and it's like, nah, I ain't in the restaurant, but if you want to book me though,
there you go. Yep.
You can definitely do that. And so, bro, I honestly been flying back and forth from Texas to Arizona because I still have clients out there. You know, I still have people who want me in particular to do stuff out there. I may have a couple of different opportunities coming up that we're working on right now. A lot of collaborations. Still got the cologne thing popping.
I noticed that. I still want to get me a
bottle. It's a lot of stuff going on, man. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, yeah, man. I noticed that. I'm still going to get me a bottle too. And since we're on that tip, I just wanted to ask you, man, if there's anything right now you want to plug, or you want to give a shout outs to anybody, or if anything that you're promoting that you have coming up soon that you're
honestly,
doing now, let's go ahead and get that out there, man.
More than anything, is always shout out and appreciation to everybody who has ever. I don't care if you just told somebody. I don't care if you just shared a post, man. Honestly, I'm just thankful to everybody who has ever supported me, bro. Because like, I didn't do a lot of marketing. I didn't do a lot.
But your social media presence is strong, though. You have a strong following.
Like, it's literally all my business has been successful through word of mouth, and just the fact that I am very, very meticulous about what we do, to the point where I think one of my favorite dinners I did, bro, was a South African dinner. I had never cooked South African food before in my life.
Okay, so that was a new one for you at the time?
Huh?
That was a new one for you at that time? Like a new...
bro, brand new. And a lot of the stuff I do that you even will see on my page, brand new. Okay. A lot of it is brand new first take. So, like, I'm very meticulous about it. If I'm going to do something new, I'm going to research it. I'm going to figure out what it is. Like, when I did this South African dinner, actually, me and my fiance did it. We made, I think it was fufu and iru, and then bunny chow. So these are all, like, real traditional dishes that I was making for this guy and his wife. And when he walked in the door and smelled what was going on, he was like, he felt like he was at home.
Nice. There you go. You know you're doing something right when you make people that's familiar with that cuisine feel comfortable like that.
Store. I found a whole South African store to make sure I went and got all the traditional spices, all the traditional mixes, all the traditional flavors and smells and stuff that I knew he was going to recognize straight off. And he told me straight off, it's like, it's amazing. Like, I love when somebody challenges me to do something different, because it makes me tap into a whole different creative side of myself, and I love it, bro. I absolutely love it. But back to plugging stuff, because I got off track. But no, bro. I really right now, I got a collaboration coming up with a big company. I'm not at liberty to discuss it right now because they ain't told me I can post yet, but it is a nationally known company that's in like places like Target, Walmart, all grocery stores. So I got a collaboration coming up with them.
You know, you want to come out where you can start using phrases like, "I'm not at liberty to discuss the details of the deal coming up."
Bro, when
love it, man.
You know it's something when you have to say stuff like that,
right?
So like I can't really discuss that one, but like man, I got some recipes and stuff coming. I've got some more step-by-step videos coming. Nice. YouTube, my YouTube is growing, and I'm about to start putting some more step-by-step, lesson stuff on there, like pro tips, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
People love that, man. Pull back the curtain and let them know how you're getting it down like that, and behind the scenes stuff, just showing your personality is what sells.
I don't really like it, bro. I don't really like being in front of the camera, behind the camera. I don't really like. I don't like the way my own voice sounds on voiceovers. I know that's probably crazy, but like I'm trying to open up the box a little bit more and get more into it because what I'm starting to notice is the more I'm letting people see who I am as a person,
right,
the more they're starting to respect who I am as a chef.
Because they get emotionally invested in you, and that's what brings the following in the business and all that. So, and I learned that late.
I used to think, bro, bro, if my food ain't bringing them in, then I ain't doing it right. But it's not just about that, because I can make I make gorgeous plates.
Yeah.
I make gorgeous plates. I love colors. I love flavors. I love playing around with a bunch of different stuff. But if they can't relate to the story behind the food and what they see, then they don't get invested.
Right. That's what makes a lot of these some of the celebrity chefs in the shows get on so much, because it's a combination of their skills and their personality, and in some cases characters also, but it's a combination of all those things that draws the interest, because people that's already tasted your stuff will come just for the food. But if they don't know anything about you, and it's like, okay, it's just a great chef, he's good, but why is he good? Why do I want to fuck with him? Because so it's a combination of all that. So yeah, I hear you on that for real.
Yeah, bro. I one thing I just can't do, and they might get me to do it one day. Actually, my oldest daughter got me to do it, but I just can't do the dance thing, man. I can't do the making fried chicken and dancing thing.
I don't think you want to. Bro? I know I can. I wouldn't try to either.
I want my talent, honestly, to speak for itself.
Yeah.
I do now, more so than before, understand why I also need to speak for my talent.
Right. It's got to be organic. It's all got to be organic.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Like now, moving to Texas, I'm around a lot more of my family, because I was not for a long time. Losing my grandmother a few months ago has really changed my mind perspective.
Yeah. Because
she would always tell me, like, she was like, well, why do you have to do it that way? Why not do it your own way? Mm-hmm. Why do you have to do this? Why, like, I would call her and ask her for recipes and stuff like that. Sometimes she'd be like, well, I could tell you what to do, but why not do it your own way?
There you go.
Why not, explore a different way? You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's one of the things that stuck with me and really sticks with me now. I feel her presence. I know she's not here, but I feel her presence. Yep. And one of the greatest things and the thing that I'm always going to be happy about is that her, my aunt who passed away a couple years ago, they got to actually experience where I am now as a chef versus, who they knew me as a child.
Wow.
Well, and like they got to experience my skill level, you know what I'm saying? And it just blew them away. I still got pictures from that day. They just sitting in the kitchen watching me cook and just smiling. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things I'm always going to cherish about what I do.
There you go, man. That game from my elders is infinite value, and we're going to leave it on that, man. That jewel you just dropped right there is a good way to finish this off, man. I want to thank you for your time, man. Thank you for for this conversation, man. I'm glad we got a chance to catch up. We're going to do more of these in the future, man, because we still got so much more to talk about and much more to reflect on, because we got a history and so much more fun stuff to talk about from our own personal experiences, man. But for now, we're going to cap it right here, because this has been a great one. Thank you, man. Much love again. Mad success for you and your future and your family, your business. I'm going to continue to follow you and show you things that I create also, because I love staying in touch with creative minds like yourself and people who are just generally my homies, man, that I got love for, man. So
absolutely,
you continue to do your
bro.
thing,
I appreciate
man.
You having me on here, bro. We might as well call this part 1, because we gonna get on here and we gonna talk about some real chef stuff and some real chef problems too.
Bam. On that note, man, this has been a conversation, man, with the talented Chef Wyze, DeeJay, Mr. Dwayne Ferguson. I don't know if you throw my government out there, but Chef DeeJay, Chef Wyze, whatever you want to call him, whatever you want to know him as. This has been an Infinite Ambition episode with the man himself. You can follow him on the socials. I'll post his links in the description and in the comments. If you want to leave a comment for him or for myself, go ahead and drop that. He will post his info there where you can reach him. And on that note, stay motivated, stay positive, infinite ambition, recognize your limitless worth. Peace.
Peace.